Welcome, Royal Family. You tuned into Healing Queens, a podcast where the focus is motivation, support, and guidance for the growth of our queens and kings. I'm Emma E2K, your certified healing life coach. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to episode 83. It's episode 83, and it's about gratefulness. And I didn't want to talk about this topic alone. So, he's a friend of the show. I had to welcome him back because he's doing so many things. And, I want to get up on in the business afterwards because I'm so grateful. Please from Vega. Vega, back.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Yes,
I'm grateful to
awesome.
be here.
Yes, I know with your busy schedule, because you're super busy, you got a million things going on, but I'm grateful that you took out a little time just to hang out with me and talk about the topic gratefulness. The last time you was here, we went deep. And I think we should just turn that around and talk about all the grateful things, right? All the amazing things that are happening, kind of balancing that out now that these holidays are coming in. And it can be kind of for some people depressing for whatever one reason or another. Um, but it's also on the mindset. I want to go into these holidays like grateful, like that we're here, right? That we
Yes,
made
yes.
it. That all these other great things are happening, that we're not looking at a cup halfway empty, but we're looking at it halfway full, if you will, right? So I'm gonna I'm gonna say what I'm grateful for, and then I'm gonna give it to you, Vega. So we're gonna go
Okay.
like that back to back. So I'm grateful for this year. It's been challenging, but nevertheless, I'm grateful that I'm able to get up and do these podcasts. That I'm able to maintain my businesses. That even with the hurricane that try to knock us down and all that over here, that even after the storm, my mindset still was on, you know what, so okay, so this happened, I couldn't control it, what am I gonna do next, right?
Yep.
And I'm able to set all these goals and keep going, so I'm grateful for that. Not a lot of people can get up after a storm and continue to do what they got to do, right? So I'm grateful that God's given me the opportunity to do that. I got a long list of amazing things in this last quarter and the beginning of next quarter, and all these things are happening. But maybe everything that's happening to me is not as great comparison to Vega, but I ain't gonna steal his thunder, and I'm gonna let him tell you about all the things that's been happening to him. So Vega, what are you grateful for?
I think you got a lot of great stuff happening, first of all. And also I think it's amazing that you chose this topic because I think just for a split second, right, it's real important. I know for myself, like we don't really often take the moment or take the time to stop and say, what have I accomplished? Right. It's always like, what's next? What's next? What's next? Or like, how did I mess this up and how can I do it better? But we never actually just like, oh, word, that thing, that other thing actually worked, right? Like I just gotta take a second and be like, as much as this moment isn't working in my favor the way I wanted to, the simplest example is like sometimes things don't go as planned with the movies, right? But like on the other side, how many people get to make movies, right? So,
And
you know,
speaking
you
about
gotta
movies,
you gotta be grateful, right? Especially speaking about movies, I have, two new movies that came out this quarter on Amazon Prime, and they're both coming to Tubi within the next weeks or so. And so
you said
it's
where? And Amazon
uh,
what?
they're both on Amazon Prime. They're both coming to Tubi and potentially Peacock
And the
over.
name of these movies would be?
The first one is Nico. I wrote and produced that one, and then the second is The Burden of Nine Lives, which I wrote, directed, and produced. So
You're
obviously I'm
saying
super
Amazon
grateful for my
Prime.
team and the people around me. Like without them, these wouldn't be possible. So
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Have you heard of that? That little Amazon Prime? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And then you said also in Tubi?
it'll be coming to Tubi in a couple weeks. Yep.
Okay. All right. That's just a little two movies. Some people don't do one, he did two, And it came out the same week. Like what, days after? Like how that came out?
A week apart.
A week
That was
apart.
crazy. Like that's a wild experience, and it's not something that we really planned or prepared for entirely. But it's a wild experience to have two movies back to back and be trying to like figure out how to promote both without eating into the other one, right? So that you can imagine how in the trenches of those moments, it's really easy to forget the fact that like, yo, we just released two movies back to back.
And how many actors in total, like with these two movies? Like,
Oh man, so we did share a little bit of the actors between the two films because I love working with some of the same people. But altogether, I would say staff-wise, between both movies, we were crew and cast included, we're probably looking at like 100, 120 people
wow, wow,
that
wow,
get involved to make these movies come to life. Yeah.
wow. So talk to me about some of the main characters. I mean, shout them out.
Absolutely. Sheesh, I don't even know where to begin. With Burden, it's such a big cast, right? It's an ensemble story, so everybody you see on screen is important. So Steven Stain Fernandez played the lead role of Jimmy, and really brought that character to life in an incredible way. Alongside Ashley Rose Nicholas, Rico Hundo, Sky Zoo, Waldo Cortez Acosta, the only Dominican heavyweight UFC fighter right now. So, doing it for the culture at the same time.
Okay.
Um, Alicia M. Wright, incredible producer and actress who helped make sure that these projects were top of the line. She plays the lead role in Nico, and plays a supporting role in Burden. So, like I said, it's just such big teams that it's like, all I can really do is be grateful that we have such amazing people that we get to work with.
How long did it take to film this whole movie? Like from beginning to end? Like how long did it take?
It's crazy because you're asking all the questions that really lead into gratefulness. Because like every time you say something, I'm like, man, like saying this out loud, it's like, yeah, that's right. Like regardless of any of the difficulties, we got to be thankful that from the moment I wrote each script, it probably was about 2 years, 2.5 years to get to a place where we can watch a movie. But as far as once we settled down and said, okay, we're gonna make these movies, we each one of them was filmed within 7 to 10 days. And each of them was
Oh,
finished like
7 to 10 months, days,
seven
and
to ten
days.
days filming, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then each of them probably took at most 60 days to finish with editing and all the post production. The longest part of the process is actually getting it to the people, right? Like, and that's where we're like grateful for our partners. Buffalo 8, helping us get out Nico, the team over at Film Hub, helping us get Burden out, right? Like they help really get that last piece solved where there's so much content being produced. Just making it onto your TV screen is an uphill battle itself. So we
Right.
really got to be thankful for them.
Right. Because I mean, I've been hearing people take years to write a script, and then it's like a full year or even more to even film,
Yeah.
and then probably another year or so to get it out.
Yep.
So I hear you talking about, okay, 2 years to write, 7 days to film. It's like, man.
And so that one gets the most powerful thank you, right? Because that is genuinely, it goes to God, right?
Right.
He just
Amen.
Everybody's born with certain skill sets, right? And for me, for whatever reason, this analytical ability to like process things and make things happen, is what he gifted me with. So,
That
I'm just thankful to God that like I just see things in a very different way from a lot of people that lets me have those moments where I can like push through and write a script in 30 days or have a set started and wrapped in 7 days, 10 days. Um, it really is like I can't fully explain it, but it works and I'm thankful for it.
where were the films where was it filmed at?
So Nico was primarily shot in Pennsylvania. We actually, so it's crazy because we made such an impact in the city that we were filming that they started like really supporting us and being behind us to the point that I think on our third or fourth day of filming, there were news broadcasts like the morning news was
Wow.
talking about the fact we were filming and giving people the heads up like, hey, there might be, different traffic patterns or a little bit of traffic because we have a film crew in town filming a movie, and it's like,
Oh,
wow, like we're really doing this,
so, so
and then
shout out to PA for the support.
right, like it's just amazing, and then the Burn the Nine Lives was shot in the Bronx for the most part. We did a little bit in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
but for the most part, we shot in the Bronx. Yeah.
Okay, BX.
And we got some great support from people in the Bronx as well. The Bronx Film Collective, a great nonprofit organization that supports Bronx filmmakers. KRVC, a small business development center. So they help, small businesses get off the ground. So they were very supportive alongside many others, like just throughout the city. We had a lot of support and a lot of help that, again, like the more thank yous we can give, it's like when you watch the movie, there's a whole like 10 seconds in the credits of just thank yous.
Thank you. Listen, we're grateful. Thank you. Listen, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes I'll be here a little minute, like I'm still okay. And thank you to, right? These are the things that we need to do so we can continue to do what we love.
Right. I mean,
We
just
can't do it
today,
alone.
I don't know the exact timing of when Spivey's going to get this done. Hi, Spivey. But just today, right? Like, it's International Women's Day, right? I forgot the exact term that it is for today. I think it's
Not
I
today.
shared it earlier, but it's
March.
International Anti-Violence Against
Anti,
Women.
right,
That's
right. I
what
was
it is.
gonna say because
Anti-Violence Against
International Women
Women.
is in March.
No, no, no. International Anti-Violence Against Women's Day is what
Right.
today is.
We're in November.
Right. And even that, I felt like, oh, wow, the chances of that and me having the interview with Healing Queens today.
Yeah.
And we had done this project a couple years ago, right? That's really big. And it's a big PSA around domestic
It's
violence and
like
violence towards women.
46,000 views to
Mhm.
date, if I'm not
Right. And even
mistaken. We
even
did it
that,
two
like,
years ago.
yeah, 2 years ago, and even that type of stuff where like people don't realize the impact that even those projects have had, right? Like people have seen that and
Mhm.
said, yeah, this is somebody I want to work with, So
Right.
like everything you do has that moment that if you really just take a breath and take a second, you can look around and there's plenty of stuff to be thankful for.
Yes. Yes. So, you know, it's been 2 years already since that filming.
Yeah.
For those that don't
And we
know,
did that super fast too. We did that in a day.
in a day, in a day,
Without my whole team.
in a day, in a day. That was in listen, I kid you not, people see and they're like, how long did it take? Oh my God. How much, it must have been like a big film crew, whatever. I'm like, like not I can't reveal everything that,
You can't reveal the secret sauce,
right. I can't tell you the secret sauce, but I'm telling you now. But so 2 years ago, there was an idea to create like a commercial. I wanted to do a commercial that initially was supposed to be a commercial just to let people know about Healing Queens and what we do and what we're about.
Mhm.
And so when you get creative people together, other things just begin to happen. And then God puts that other, this was gonna happen. And
Yeah.
so we had an idea, Vega had an idea, and collectively we brought those ideas together and it just went somewhere else right? Because
Yep.
most of the things that you wrote, we ended up changing like right then and there because it kind of wasn't working and
Mhm.
all this was done in one day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
shout out to all the actresses that really last minute. We put this was like a last minute thing we shuffled together.
Yeah,
Some
they
amazing
they
poets.
really delivered too. So
Yes, they delivered. I mean, you got to check it out. So the poets are from here, originally from Florida. And we also got a business owner because he's not a poet, right?
yeah, Don is a business owner. He owns
Don
like
is a
two or
business
three
owner.
venues
He's not
down
a
there.
poet.
Yep.
But he still stepped up and man, like they all delivered. Like they really
Mhm.
delivered. Not that I thought that they wouldn't. I still was just shocked to the level that once everything came together and was edited. I even time every time I look at it, I use it in workshops. I do workshops with women and I use that and they
Wow.
stay like it's
I
like,
didn't know that. That's amazing.
yes. I use it in workshops and they stay like I stay sometimes when I look, because you're busy, right? You're like, oh, we're doing so much, and then I think about, wait a minute, I'm an executive producer. Let's check out my stuff. And you look at the things, and you're like, wow. And that was on one day, like I said, it was just kind of done. It was supposed to be a commercial, which turned into a short film, and and that was, right?
Yeah.
So
And
that was a
it
great
has so
experience, by
much
the
more
way.
impact with the short film version. Like everything we were going to do as a commercial was similar concept, but it was much faster and more condensed, right? And
Yeah.
this way we were able to really space it out and really show the story. And even that's something that like I don't watch that very often, but when these moments like today came up, I was like, oh, let me just watch it. It's 15 minutes, like it's not very long. And then you sit back and you're like, man, like this was really something special that we did here. Like, and you think about the,
Incredible.
like I said, the energy that went into it, the team that put it together, shout out Spivey because Spivey was also a part of how
Yes.
it came to life. So like
Yes.
it's
The
amazing,
teams just came together and we made it happen. I'm talking about from
hmm
morning to night. Like it was just done one
Yep.
whole entire day. And if you see the film, you're like, nah, y'all couldn't have done this all in one day, but we did in one day.
hmm One
Um,
whole day.
yes, that was a dope experience. It gave me the producer bug, I ain't gonna lie. And but even that one day condensing all that, I still saw all the work that goes into that, and
Mhm.
that's something that you have to do when you have the love and the passion for it. Like I caught the bug, but I don't know if I had the passion to do that all day long. This is what you do like all day long. Like you
All day
write,
long. Like
you
today,
film,
today
you
I
right.
went through two scripts that I'm being asked to produce. And for people who don't understand what the producer does, right? Essentially, uh like a director is talking to the actors and the crew and really has a vision for what the movie's going to be, right? They have this idea of what they want you to see on the screen. An executive producer usually comes with the funding, whether it's they directly give you cash or they give you things that replace the need for cash, like locations or equipment, or resources, whatever that might be. And then your producer is the person who makes sure that all of that money actually turns into the director's vision, right? So
Mm,
like we make sure that all of it comes together. So doing the work, it's like as a producer, I think every single one of us has to be super thankful that work even comes our way, right?
mm,
Because like if you think about what's happening, it's like these two people who could theoretically manage the money themselves are saying, yo, we need one more person to come in and just focus their attention on making sure that at the end of this day, the end of this week, at the end of this month, however it plays out, we didn't waste money and not have anything to watch at the end.
that's good. That's good. I never heard it put that way. That's good
Yeah.
that you broke that down that way. Because we
So a
often
lot of
hear,
scripts get read. A
we often hear,
lot of scripts get read.
we often hear those titles or we see it right when the end of a movie or whatever, and we're like, I don't know exactly what that means because sometimes it's the same name for 1,000 titles, and you're just not
Mhm.
sure if this person is doing everything or what's going on. But I'm glad that you broke that down to
So
that.
for anybody out there who wants to get into it, there's a start.
Yeah. And if somebody's interested in getting into it, how hard or easy is it? Right? Or is it like
It's
anything
a
else?
lot.
It's what you put in.
It's definitely so more so now than ever before. It's about what you put into it, right? Like there was definitely a period of time, and I'm thankful that I wasn't part of that period of time, where the access to technology was so difficult, right? For you to
Mm,
try to do something like this, that it just wasn't possible, right? Like it really required a lot of resources. Now technology is so advanced that you have a lot more equipment available to the average person or to the average budget, and it gives a lot more opportunity for people to be able to do this type of stuff. Granted, it still takes a lot, right? It still takes a decent amount of money. Like it's never a super inexpensive thing, right? Like even with us doing it in one day and all the changes that we made and all that, like it still ended up being a cost to produce even the short that we did, right? So all of that has to be taken into consideration. But with that said, I think because of how accessible technology is, you just got to find the right team of people, right? Like if you can find a script that you like and attach yourself with a cinematographer who's really interested and committed to growing in the business, and they understand like the way things are looking, and they get that there's a growth period that they have to go through in
Right.
order to get to that place where you can charge $3,000, $4,000 a day to do the thing you do, then it becomes a little bit easier. But I
Right.
think the real big part of it is that team effort. You need to be able to put a team together that is actually interested in making this happen more so than just the results of what happens.
I think that's in any industry. Like
Yeah,
if you don't have that team where everybody's kind of going in the same direction, not to say that you can't get there, but it's going to be a lot more harder and a
yeah,
lot more
it gets way
stressful.
easier.
Right. So it's way easier to get a collective of people that kind of, and they don't have to have the exact same vision, but at least the similar vision. So, because not everybody's going to see exactly the same, and you don't want to be around people that think exactly like you. You want somebody to think different so they can bring other things to the table, right? Because everybody thinking the same way. It's like, all right, there's no other opinion. It's just like that. We just thinking, right? The same. But to be
Exactly.
in that same, like we're going this direction, and one somebody skipping, somebody running, somebody walking, but we're going that way. you
Yeah.
know
I feel like you want to have people who have a similar work ethic
mm,
and understanding of like what we're working towards, right?
mm,
So it's easy to find people who want to make a movie, right? Like that's easy when we're going through trying to find people to include in the project, right? Everybody wants to be part of a movie, right? It's more important to find the people who say, "Hey, I don't just want to be part of a movie, like I want to bring this character to life." Right?
mm,
Or I don't just want to be a part of a movie. I want to make sure that the lighting on this film looks extravagant, right? Like,
mm,
or I want to make sure it sounds incredible. I want to make sure that like whatever that extra detail,
right.
right? Because I'm a detail oriented person, right? So when I work with people, I always tell people it sounds kind of crazy, right? But I'm a very hands off type of leader, right? Like I like to work with people. I bring you on because I believe you are the best in this particular thing, and that's what I need you to be great at here,
So
right? Like
do
you
it.
you have right, you're open to give your input into this other stuff, right? These other parts that need to get done as well. But
Mhm.
when you give that input, keep in mind these other people were hired the same exact way you were, right? Like I
Mm,
believe they are the best in their field,
mm.
and this is what they do, right?
Okay.
So this exchange of information, like everybody having that understanding, like you were brought on as the best in your field, it generates an instant level of respect amongst each other where everybody's like, we
That's
are the
good.
best at what we do,
That's
and
good.
we just need to be the best team doing it now.
Right. That's good. Right. In other words, don't come and tell me what to do over here. Just do
Right.
the best thing you do over there, and collectively everything's gonna work out.
Exactly. If you have a suggestion, we're open to it, right? But like
Right.
remember, it's a suggestion because I'm the best at what I do here,
Right.
the same way you're the best at what you do over there.
Right.
So
Makes
I could
sense.
suggest something to you, but that's kind of it. Like
Right. Thanks for the suggestion, but I'm going to do this anyway.
right.
But yeah, but I'm grateful that I'm in this position, and you should be grateful that you're in yours. And let's do this, what we need to
Exactly.
do.
We want to make sure this thing works. We're not just here for the part where we get to watch the movie on the screen. We're here for the part where we make sure it gets there.
Mm. And then, so, like, if that's not enough, then you have now to promote, to
Mhm.
market, to get everybody to kind of talk about it, people to support it, and the platforms that they're in, whether it be a podcast, radio, magazine, because without people talking about the project and the film that you've done, took all these years to from beginning to end, um then there's no support. So the scary thing about it is that when you do film, people are watching to see how great that one does, to see if they
Yep.
want to get on board with the following projects, right? Because it's not just one
Mhm.
movie. You kind of preparing for other ones. right? You
Exactly. You got to
want
pave the way for your next projects.
for your next project. Yeah. So every and any promotion after it's done, so it all works still hand in hand for everything. So shout out to all those that have reposted, that are
Mhm.
supporting these films. Um, although they are amazing and great quality and all that, I hear a lot of people, writing all that. We still need the support. It still needs
Yep.
to be pushed. All those that have a friend that tell a friend, or somebody that is working where we know these films need to be, give a holler, send it, share it, do whatever you can do to support um people coming up and doing what they love to do. Vega is doing amazing, and I'm not just saying that, and I'm
Thank
not
you.
just bragging on him because I know him and I can get in to see a free movie. Now I'm just saying, because I know his work ethics, and I always love and support people that have great work ethics. And he is definitely one of these kings that don't sit around and just wait till things are given to him. He gets up and makes things happen. So definitely salute to you, salute to all the cast and everybody that's been supportive with all the projects and the ones coming up, because these are just the ones that are out. Amazon
Mhm.
Prime. I know everybody got Amazon. Check it out, repost. Give your opinions, good or bad. I'm not asking you to give good. If you think it sucks, then say it. Um,
Exactly.
all press is good
Not every
press.
movie's for everybody, you know.
All
The
press is
point
good
is to give it a
press.
shot.
All press is good press. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just talk about it is what we need you to do. Bigger, thank you. Thank you for coming
Oh,
in.
thank you. You
Thank you
always
for
bring
being
space to create.
amazing. I'm grateful to that we are part of each other's village and team. Because aside from the business, you're my brother for life, and I want nothing but the best for you. So wherever I'm a part of, my platform is your platform. You're a friend of the show. You let me know when you want to come back. Let's have some of your actors and your actresses come on in. I would love to talk to them as well.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I would love that. I would love that. I would love to give them a chance to really speak on their experience, especially the ladies from the film, because they play such an
Yes.
important role in the movie, you know? So,
Yes. I can't wait to talk to them. Don't give no. Okay, there's gonna be another
okay,
podcast.
that's
Don't.
it.
All right. So your last shout outs. Your last shout outs.
Shout out everybody listening. That's like the big shout out I want to give. Like I said, I think it's a very meaningful part of the work that we do, right? Just to have people experience it, right? You don't have to enjoy it, you don't have to love it. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. But it means so much for people to just give it a shot, right? Like check it out, watch it. Have a discussion about why you don't like it, right? Like what is
That's
it that you
it.
don't like? What is it that you did like? Um, and most importantly, that message doesn't just apply to the stuff that I make, right? I feel like it applies to the stuff everybody makes. This is how we get the privilege of getting new and incredible art, like making it to the whole world, right? Is to give these new faces a chance.
The chance.
So if you come across new music or a new movie or a new stage play, a new poet, whatever the new thing is, just all you gotta do is lend it your ear. Just give it that one opportunity. If you don't like it, you can't be blamed for that. But if you don't even give it a shot, then yeah, it's kind of on you.
Yeah. Remain grateful, people.
Mm-hmm.
Remain grateful. That's we're gonna end it with that. Being grateful
That's
for
it.
what we do, what we're able to do, what God allows us to do. And whatever your skill set is, and you're able to go far with it, remain grateful. And even when things don't work out, still remain grateful because you never know. God has
Take
perfect
a
timing. So it's
take
gonna
that
happen
breath
at
and
a
really
perfect
think
time.
about take that breath and really think about what you've been able to do so far in your life, right? Like, because it gets dark, but if you take that second and really look, you always find something that you could be like, "Wow, I did that."
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. And like always, short and sweet. Until next time, peace.
Peace.